Hey, YouTube, we are live once again. What's up, everybody? Can you hear me out there? All right, who's here in chat? Florida Todd here in chat. He says, Alex Jones will be on tonight. Well, it's good to know that some controlled opposition will be doing their job tonight. As you know, the Chinese sent over a spy balloon, all right? I was there and I saw it. Let me tell you what, folks. It's turning the damn frog sky. All right? All right. Rose Bellman says, hello, everyone. Hey, what's up, Rose? How is everyone doing on a Friday night? Everyone happy to be here tonight? I sure as heck am. We're going to be breaking down the spy balloon, of course. I'm going to queue up a video. Got one from Fox News, and then I thought we could watch a few others, but I already did a short video about it today, but I wanted to go in detail, really rant, listen to what you guys have to say. There's some points that I didn't cover in the short video that I want to cover tonight. So we'll get deep into the supposed Chinese spy balloon. Saul Rosenberg says, hey, fake ball season is almost over. Indeed, and we will be transitioning back into my regular content, and I am glad to see the football season end, as I'm sick of covering the same rigged shit week in and week out. It'll be nice to go back and start doing other topics like we are tonight. All right, PJ CNET says, only slightly late. Oh, we just started, sir, so you did not miss much but introduction so far. Haven't rolled the footage yet. So you guys have, probably a lot of you have already saw that I put out a 5-minute video already about this, edited video. And then tonight I thought we would go over it in fine detail and really analyze what they're saying and put our minds together, try and figure out what the hell they're doing together as a team. Because there's some points I wanted to make in my video that I didn't quite get to. So I know tonight, with you guys helping me, we're going to find some new details, and it's going to get interesting because we have some of the smartest viewers in the whole world right here in this stream. Yes, we do. And if trolls show up, anyone trying to push the narrative and poo-poo on what I'm saying, or push that outer space travel is real and the government doesn't lie, anyone openly pushing that narrative, you will get bounced around here if we spot you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and jump into the footage. I'll go ahead and say a few hellos to some people. JT's here, says face station, space station, fake space station. That's right. Aurora says big up, Jake. What's up, big Aurora? Big up to you. Big up to everyone in my live chat crew. We about to get this party started for you. All right. I Seek Truth says, hey, Jake. Hey, what's up, man? Or ma'am, whichever you are. I don't know. All right. It looks like Faith is here and Andy's here. Hello, Andy. Hello, Faith. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, I always got to do some hellos. Oh, Quinzone's here. What's happening, Quinzone? He also does some rigged NFL content. He'll break down like every single questionable play. So if you guys want like the most detailed analysis of the rigged NFL, Quinn does like every single play that even kind of looks phony. All right. Okay, Oh, Misanthropics here too. Good times. All right. Saul Rosenberg coming with a super chat says, Alex Junes says the Chickoms are pointing a fake sun at us. Turn them all the men trans. I think he's being sensational, but could be accidentally right. Is that what he's saying, or are you just trying to be funny? See, it's hard to tell whether you just like made that up for comedic effect or whether that's actually what he's saying. It wouldn't surprise me. Saul Rosenberg says Chicom Chinese commies. Oh, that's yeah. See, I was totally like Chicoms. I don't know what that is, man. You lost me there. Okay. I'm glad you did that. Sometimes I need to be told exactly what you mean. There's so much lingo being passed around. We're all trying to stay uncensored here on the tube. Sometimes it can get confusing. All right. You guys ready to break down some Fox News? Oh, man. This one's hilarious. I watched just like a minute of it. I'm like, oh, this will be a good one to do live. All right. Without further ado, let's see what the TV tells us, what Fox News tells us about the Chinese spy balloon. All right. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe it's real. All right. So I like to go into everything thinking it's a hoax and that it's fake. And then I let them present their case and try and sway me into believing it. And they usually don't ever do a good enough job. So pretty much every time I go into it thinking it's fake and then I turn out to be right, it feels extra good. So you should try it sometime. You go into it knowing that it's going to be fake, and then you give them the benefit of the doubt and try and hear their story. And when it doesn't add up, then you know you were right and it makes you feel good. All right. And away we go. Bing.
Fox News alert. A stunning briefing by the Pentagon just wrapped up a second ago. They say a high-altitude Chinese spy balloon the size of 3 school buses has penetrated U.S. airspace and is floating around over Montana. Watch.
All right, so right away, man, that opening line right there, there's stuff to dissect just in the opening line that they deliver in this clip. Okay, Geraldo Morales with a donation says, I got to hear Arnold talk about cornholio cortiditis. Also, I saw this fake station first thing this morning. So obvious for those with eyes to see. Check this out. I think I can accommodate your request and tie in what you're talking about to what I'm talking about right now. So check this out. He said it was the size of 3 football fields. Or not football fields, buses. Excuse me. He said it was the size of 3 buses. So they're using 3 with DeMar. We kept seeing number 3, and he's flashing the number 3, right? And everyone with their number 3 and 3 everywhere you look. And so here you get 3 again. So we see the football field 3, and you see it. They're like, oh, it was the size of 3 buses. So they got to work that in there. So they use bus as a unit of measurement, right? So it's not a certain amount of feet. It's not a certain amount of yards. It's not a certain amount of meters. No, it's 3 buses. See how that works? They got to mix in the 3 somehow, so they use bus as the unit of measurement. Right? So you got the fake Damar Hamlin stuff going on with number 333 everywhere. and then they hit you with this. Oh, and it was three. This balloon here, it was 3 buses long. See, they mixing in the number 3 again here. Little simple coding. What you need to do is you need to wash your hands. Is what you need to do, and you need to wash your hands all of the time. If you're not washing your hands all of the time, you might catch oleocoatitis with what happened with the Mars when he got caught. He did not wash and sanitize his hands properly, and he caught oleocoatitis, and it caused him to go into a cardiac arrest, and then he was unable to resuscitate him for 10 minutes. 10 minutes down, and he was got down in the field. They should have got him to the chopper. If they would have got him to the chopper, they would have been able to revive him in a quicker amount of time. All right, there you go. I got your Arnold in there for you. If I don't stop, I'll just keep going. And I'll lose track of what I'm even talking about. Okay. All right. Thank you for the donation, buddy. Rose says, Confucius say lick a dick song is most appropriate now. Oh, now you want to hear my Chinese song. So here's how I mock the Chinese is all Chinese music sounds like this. Ching chong, ching ching chong, lick a dick, lick a ding ding dong. Ching chong, ching ching chong, lick a dick, lick a ding ding dong. That every single Chinese song sounds like that. You know that's not racist, and it's totally true, totally appropriate, and you know I'm right. Try and prove me wrong. You can't. All right, moving on. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. Aurora appreciates that as well. All right. So let's get back to the video. So he comes out of the gate with the on the video here. I'll even replay it. Oh, shit, I got another. Hold on, I got another super chat coming in. It says, I theorize something major will occur somewhere on 3/3/23. If you times them by 2, you will get 666 thoughts. You know, you never know exactly when they're gonna do their shit. You just have to wait for it to happen and then expose it then. Because if you try and get out in front of it and try and predict shit before it happens, I notice that's when I can get stuff wrong. If I try and get out in front of it real early, it's harder to predict. So they can just change their plans slightly. So I wait for shit to happen more. I've noticed it's better if I just wait for it to happen, and then once it's happened, analyze it, and then break it down from there, rather than try and figure out when the next day they're maybe going to do something. But, you know, they do like their dates and their numerology. Could be one to circle on the calendar. And if you do get it right, then you can be like, see, I told you. Thanks, JL, for the donation. All right, let me replay this beginning because it's very important the way they start their clip. This is how Fox News comes at you.
Fox News alert. A stunning briefing by the Pentagon just wrapped up a second ago. They say a high-altitude Chinese spy balloon the size of 3 school buses has penetrated U.S. airspace and is floating around over Montana. Watch.
Well, hello, everybody. I am sitting in my driveway here in Billings, Montana. And right now, there is a ground stop on our airport. And this thing is up in the sky.
All right, so you see they how they come in there with you, and it's penetrated U.S. airspace. What we have here is a Chinese spy balloon, and it penetrated U.S. airspace, all right? This thing, if you don't get right with God, let me tell you what, it's going to shoot Chinese drones that are going to have little nano Chinese bots that are going to implant inside your urethra. And then when you try and urine out of your urethra, it's going to burn like hell, all right? You're going to wish you got right with God. So what you need to do, all right, is you need to tuck yourself under your bed. You don't want to tuck yourself in your bed. You tuck yourself under your bed. You need to get right with God. But anyway, at any rate, I digress. All right. So there we go. That's how we have to start this thing off.
And I have no idea what it is. It's been there stationary for about the last 35 minutes. For those of you who think this might just be the moon, it is not the moon. The moon.
Okay, who here thinks this eyewitness has sounded totally scripted? Scripted, I'm calling it scripted eyewitness. This guy totally like, I'm here just documenting it, and it's been stationary for 35 minutes, and I'm just a regular guy from Montana, and the airport they ground, and I know it's not the moon, because the moon is over here, and Fox News is going to use my name. And what's my name? Oh, his name is Chase Doak. Chase Doak. They always have some stupid fake name, it seems. Chase Doak. Somebody in the chat will be like, "That's not a fake name. I went to school with Chase Doak. He's telling the truth, man." Yeah, he's chasing some dope, man. And you gotta be a fucking dope to believe him. You stupid ass dope. What are you, a dope? You gonna believe a guy named Chase Doak who went chasing after a dope talking about, "Hi, I'm Chase Doak, and I see a fucking thing in the sky"? Yeah, right, Chase Doak. Not buying it. Just the name sometimes is enough to trip you off. They come with the 3 buses routine and the Chase Doak shit. All right.
Moon is off to my right. I can see it. This is significantly smaller than the moon.
So apparently, the spy balloon flew over Alaska and then entered U.S. airspace through Canada. Some ally, the Canadians are, didn't even give us a heads up. Trudeau's probably too worried about the truckers. It hovered over the city of Billings, Montana for...
You hear the way Fox News is like just like joking around and mocking it, like, "Canada didn't even give us a warning. Hey, thanks, Canada. Guess Trudeau's busy with those truckers." Wah, 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 wah. Put a bing, and good one. So yeah, this is totally a serious thing. Chinese spy balloon. And why didn't Canada warn us, huh? Wow. What type of shit are they trying to pull? Oh, and I got a super chat. Didn't have a message attached from Angelo Zapp. Angelo Zapp, thank you very much for the super chat, sir. So I don't believe for a second that this is a Chinese spy balloon. And here, let me explain why. I think in 2023, the Chinese don't need to use a balloon that a guy in Montana can see to try and spy. I think they have other ways of spying and getting information other than having a obvious balloon in plain sight that a random ass dude from Montana can see and everyone can see. It just doesn't make sense that that's how you would spy in 2023. And the USA is like, "Well, we're pretty sure it's China. We saw the balloon. We knew right away it was those assholes spying on." And then they said it's not the first time. They go on to say this isn't the first time it's happened. Saul says, "And now in America, you have Chinese balls flying right in your face and penetrating your space. You see what I'm saying? I'm out." It's crazy, people. I saw one of these things fly past my window. All right, that's why I don't like to go home that often, and I like to stay out of on the road. I saw one of these things fly past my window, and it tried to shoot little Chinese nano drones, and I knew it was gonna try and implant itself in my urethra. But since I got right with God, guess what happened? The shield of God's urethra blocked the little nano sucker from getting in there. Wow. Holy shit. Sometimes I can't stop. I need to get back on track. Thank you for the donation. Whew. All right. So we've only watched a minute of this video. For those of you who just joined us, I'll just recap the first minute because I stopped and talked a lot. So we'll just recap the first minute real quick. Because it's the lingo they're using here and where they're trying to lead us. It's hilarious.
Fox News alert. A stunning briefing by the Pentagon just wrapped up a second ago. They say a high-altitude Chinese spy balloon the size of 3 school buses has penetrated U.S. airspace and is floating around over Montana. Watch.
Well, hello, everybody. I am sitting in my driveway here in Billings, Montana. And right now, there is a ground stop on our airport. And this thing is up in the sky. And I have no idea what it is. It's been there stationary for about the last 35 minutes. For those of you who think this might just be the moon, it is not the moon. The moon is off to my right. I can see it. This is significantly smaller than the moon.
So apparently, the spy balloon flew over Alaska and then entered U.S. airspace through Canada. Some ally, the Canadians are, didn't even give us a heads up. Trudeau's probably too worried about the truckers. It hovered over the city of Billings, Montana for a couple of days. Shut down air traffic. We're just learning about this now. And check out this photo. These are U.S. military planes circling the balloon. We scrambled F-22 Raptors from the
These are F-22s, or whatever he said, circling the balloon. Is that what that looks like to you? Do you guys see what they just put on screen and told you what it was? Do you hear what he just called that? He said that is, make sure I'm saying it right. What are the F-22s? Let me go back a couple seconds.
Got this photo. These are U.S. military planes circling the balloon. We scrambled F-22 Raptors.
F-22 Raptors. So they mix fucking fake dinosaur names in with their fucking airplanes. And then they show you chemtrails on the fucking screen and tell you that that's F-22 Raptors circling the balloon. Oh. And you know what? People at home are like, yep, that's what it looks like to me. Look, you can see the Raptors circling the balloon right there, right? Don't you see? That's the Raptors circling the balloon. Man. What? It is? How come you aren't showing us the video footage of this? Why are you showing us a still shot of some chemicals in the sky? Why? Oh, that's right, because people are so stupid that they'll consider that to be footage or proof that F-Raptor jets, fighter jets, circle jerked the balloon. They went up there and circle jerked your mind, mister.
From Nevada. Just buzzed it, circled it, didn't pop it. So where is it now? Well, all the Pentagon's telling us is that it's somewhere over the continental United States. What state? They won't tell us. Top Pentagon officials, including General Milley and Defense Secretary Austin, briefed the media just a little while ago. Listen.
Okay, if this was a real Chinese spy anything, if it was a real military threat at all, they would have shot it down before it got anywhere near any town, all right? So I don't think for a second they would hesitate. Even if it was over a town, they aren't going to hesitate. They're going to shoot it down. If it was a military threat of any kind, an unwanted one, they're not going to worry about any civilian casualties because it's a matter of national security, and they're going to be heroes by shooting it down. And if anyone dies, it's going to be the fault of the bad people who put that thing over us, not the people who shoot it down. So they're saying Joe Biden wanted to shoot this thing down, but he got overruled by the Pentagon. What a story. What a story. Joe Biden wanted to shoot it down. But so they circled some planes, but the Pentagon overruled, so they just totally didn't pop it. They just totally left the balloon alone, man. And where is it? Oh, it's somewhere over the United States. Somewhere out there. Saul Rosenberg says, kidding aside, I think it was one of the balloons that carried their fake satellites falling. Check for communications outage around Montana, and they will probably blame that on China instead of the falling satellite. We're going to get to that. So, as you alluded to, it's possible that that thing is carrying a satellite. And then I also, in my video, alluded that it could be carrying a fake International Space Station. So both those things are a possibility, and I'm making my way to that. Sal, thank you again for your donation. I called you Sal. Your name's Saul. Saul. Thanks, bro. So I'm making my way to the satellite balloon, Sataloon explanation, as well as the International Fake Station explanation. I'm going to nail both those. But first, I wanted to let Fox News make their case. And so far, they have not done a very good job, I must say. But we're going to let them make their case.
The United States government has detected and is tracking a high-altitude surveillance balloon that is over the continental United States right now. The U.S. government, to include NORAD, continues to track and monitor it closely. The balloon is currently traveling at an altitude well above commercial air traffic and does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground. Instances of this kind of balloon activity have been observed previously over the past several years. Once the balloon was detected, the U.S. government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information.
So they briefed the president, and according to the Wall Street Journal, Joe Biden told his generals, shoot it down. And the Pentagon overruled the commander-in-chief. Said, no, sorry, Mr. President, it's too dangerous. Debris might fall on somebody. In Montana. Well, the press confronted Joe Biden about this just a few moments ago. Watch.
Folks, we're going to get to work. Thank you for coming.
So the Chinese have penetrated U.S. airspace through Canada. Just, you know.
You know, it's almost like they need to come out and just be like, we're joking, we were kidding, ha ha ha, early April Fools. And it would like maybe erase some of the embarrassment. Like, what in the hell was that with Joe Biden right there and all the people like that was so weird. That totally looks like some sort of weird deep fake CGI bullshit that they just made. Like, let's see what happened when Joe Biden had a press conference, and it was like, like we're supposed to just laugh and think that was real, I guess. What? Like, what stupid shit are they showing us here?
Confronted Joe Biden about this just a few moments ago. Watch.
Folks, we're going to get to work. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys. Let's go. Thank you.
So the Chinese have penetrated U.S. airspace through Canada. Just, you know, taking a peek, staring down at us high in the sky. We don't know what they're looking for or what they already have, even though they won't let the president shoot it down. The Pentagon says they're tracking it and monitoring very closely. And the State Department, wait till you hear this, sent what they're calling a clear and stark message to the Chinese embassy. They have summoned a Chinese diplomat and have prepared a very stern scolding. Let's bring in Lieutenant Colonel Danny Davis, Senior Fellow at Defense Priorities. Danny, oh my goodness. Why can't we just pop this sucker and call it a day?
You know, Jesse, I've been wondering the same thing. I mean, I can't imagine that, you know, any uninvited guest in our space has any rights to continue to fly.
Pop this sucker and call Defense Priorities. Danny, oh my goodness. Why can't we just pop this sucker and call it a day?
So all your right-winger sheep are going to be like, why don't we just fucking shoot that fucker? Why don't we pop that fucker and call it a day? You know what? If Trump was here, he'd have done shot that thing down, all right? When Joe Biden didn't really want to shoot it down, he's lying. He's a pussy. Trump would have went out there himself. Trump would have personally went out there and shot that thing down right now. Let me tell you what, all these people's getting ready to be locked up in Guantanamo Bay. So you can see they're like mocking us with the why don't we just pop it? Well, it's not that simple. Yes, it is. It would totally be that simple. And that's why the Chinese would never do that. Like if they were really trying to spy on the United States, and they're not, but if they were really I mean, they already know everything that they ever want. So they don't need to try and spy outside of us knowing. Let's just think that maybe China owns this place, already knows everything about us, and makes everything. So they already have Chinese people here who can give them information. We live in an age where video conferencing, the internet exists. So, you know, they don't need to have like a balloon to do really anything. This is really quite stupid. And then if they indeed did have a spy balloon, do you really think if it was any actual real threat that the military would just let it sit there? No way. So obviously the military of China and the United States, they work together. All the powerful militaries of the world, they work together, obviously. So when we finish this video up, we'll get into the connections with China, and we'll get into the satellite balloons, and the international fake station could possibly be involved here. We'll get into that. But I just want to show you the mocking tone that they use. And look at they're not serious. So they're like, China's trying to spy on us. Can you believe it? No, maybe we should just pop it. Oh, it's not that easy. We can't just pop it. They're like laughing about it, like openly mocking us. And there's people out there actually believing, millions of people, that the Chinese have sent over a balloon. It upsets me how easy they have it, how easy they can dupe sheeple, and how dumb sheeple have become, that this is all they have to do to trick people nowadays.
You know, Jesse, I've been wondering the same thing. I mean, I can't imagine that, you know, any uninvited guest in our space has any rights to continue to fly. But the fact is, it doesn't present any danger to us. And I really think that this is supposed to be some sort of a message from Beijing, because it comes just days before Secretary Blinken is supposed to meet with his Chinese counterpart. And it happened to fly over our nuclear strategic silos. So I don't think that was by any mistake and any accident either. But I'm not sure what they think we're going to do, if that's going to scare us or whatever, but it's certainly not going to work. Because the power that the United States has is enough to take care of us and keep us safe no matter what China may want.
So they flew this spy balloon all the way here, and they're spying on our silos. What are we doing over there with the silos that they're so concerned with?
You know, I mean, obviously these things have been there for decades, and I just wonder if it's to just graphically say, hey, we know where your nuclear silos are. You know, in case if anything happens with the Taiwan issue, that could come back into play there.
So here they mix in the nuke hoax. So I don't really believe in world-ending nuclear bombs that you can shoot across the world and blow up an entire country in one shot. I don't really believe in that type of shit. And so I believe they do have bombs. They could do some damage and stuff, but I don't believe in these world-ending nuclear bombs as they describe them to us. And so, if, like I said, if the military felt threatened in any sort of way, they would shoot the thing down, and they wouldn't care if civilians got taken out. The government doesn't care about civilian casualties in a situation like this if it's like a threat to national security, more importantly, their own dominance. So if it's a threat to their own dominance, they're not going to hesitate to shoot that thing down before it even got anywhere close to this country. So I'm just not buying this whole story at all. There's nothing about it that seems realistic, not even the coverage of it. So even the cronies who are covering this on TV are doing a terrible job at trying to convince me, Mr. Skeptical.
Because the reality is, Jesse, that the China has plenty of low Earth orbit satellites that have much greater visibility and much higher clarity and can do a lot better spying than what this thing does. So that's why I think this is probably some sort of message.
Well, I don't like the message, so it should be popped. Joe wanted to pop it. It's probably the first thing I'd ever agreed with Joe Biden.
So this TV crony on the right says we have China has low Earth orbit satellites that can do a better job spying than this thing could if it wanted to. And so he thinks it's some kind of a message. So because crony on TV thinks it's some kind of a message, now sheeple are going to go repeat this. China sent us a message. They've got them low Earth satellites, so they purposely done sent over a spy balloon as sending us a message. It's like the psychological mind games being played on the public by these cronies on TV. It's absolutely absurd. And it's sad that it comes to like someone like me who has to explain what's so blatantly obvious, something so simple. And I know a lot of you, my audience, you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain it to you. But to your average everyday sheeple, to a hardcore conservative who thinks Trump's a good guy and going to come back and fix the world, they're going to listen to this and think that there actually is a spy balloon from China here, you know? So there's people repeating this like parrots. China's sending us a message. They done sent us a message in the form of a spy balloon. Holy shit, man. It's so sad that I have to be the voice of the world, like as far as logical speakers are concerned. Like the stoner in the funny hat has to be the smartest guy in the world in some cases and be like, that sounds like bullshit. So weird. All right, let's finish this up, and then we'll get to what I think it is and what you guys think it is.
But the Pentagon overruled them. Is that allowed?
Well, I assume that they recommended against. That's what some of the reports that I had read. But certainly the commander-in-chief is supposed to have veto authority over what anybody else thinks, because he is the commander-in-chief, not anybody to suggest. So I'd be curious to see how that actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like popping this thing over Manhattan with millions of people. We're talking right. Montana here. I mean, it might hit a cow, might hit a barn. I don't know if there's a big risk there.
Here they're making my point for me. Yeah, it's over Montana. So it's not like it's right over the most popular city and going to land right on City Hall, right? So I'm pretty sure they could pop it somewhere over Montana that's just going to land in some trees and in some forest, right? And so if they really wanted to, they could pop it. And so they're ready. They're making my point for me. It's not like it's over like a super largely densely populated area. So they're not wanting to pop it on purpose. So they come at you like Joe wanted to pop it. So they're acting like Joe has a backbone and he wants to pop it. So Joe wants to make the conservative move and take it to him and pop it, right? he doesn't want to try and talk things out and work things out with China, make sure it's really them. No, he's like, let's pop that thing. Of course, that's what Joe Biden would do. Joe Biden kicks ass. He's a war hero. Everyone knows Joe Biden's awesome, and he wants to pop that son of a bitch. But the Pentagon, they overrode him, and they're like, no, we might kill some people in Montana. But Joe, man, he was going to do it. He was going to pop that like a pimple, man. But Joe was going to get that Chinese spy balloon. But the Pentagon stopped him. Dang, this is one of the first times I agree with Joe. Should have popped that son of a bitch. So here they make Joe out to be the good guy, like wanting to pop it, which would be what most conservative gun owners would want. Shoot it down. Yeah. If I was there, I'd have done shot that son of a bitch myself. See, they've got to watch it. If there really is something up there and the whole thing's not fake, I have reason to believe the whole thing's fake. But if they really did have something up there, I would think that like some conservative gun nuts would actually start shooting at it. Right? Okay.
And what's up with Trudeau? Is he spaced out? He didn't give us a little warning that the Chinese are flying spy balloons across his territory?
Yeah, little surprised by that too. I hope it's that they did, and that wasn't reported, as opposed to them not knowing and not saying anything. But I guess the fact that we tracked it coming over the Aleutian Islands, apparently we were aware of it. But I gotta agree with you there. I mean, look, that if we were worried about any ground clutter, I mean, we could have known where the thing is. We could have tracked and cleared the ground there, and then knocked it down if we wanted to. So I'm not sure what we think we gained, but I probably would have done with you. I probably would have popped it.
What are these F-22 Raptors equipped with? What do we just sling a missile out of that thing and just blast it to smithereens?
Yeah, either that or they pull guns out on it. That would probably use the guns. That'd be the easiest thing.
Okay. And it's unmanned. There's no Chinese spies in that little sack floating down, spying on us with a telescope. This thing's all tech. All right. Well, I would have popped it, and Joe should have popped it.
I can't imagine that Beijing would have let us fly a balloon and not popped it. So,
yeah, I mean, Beijing just killed 1 million Americans with COVID. I think maybe we popped the balloon. Colonel, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest.
Oh, I bet you can't wait to go subscribe to that shit, right? Wow. Holy shit. What a broadcast, right? So they're covering world news, right? It's a serious military threat. This is like world news. This is like not something you should be joking around. Totally, they were just joking around and screwing around. So they weren't threatened at all by the whole thing, right? So why should we be, right? So just the way the news guys acted right away, it's like, all right, well, you guys just totally clowned yourself and didn't even try to make it look serious. So I'm not going to take it serious either. I mean, I wasn't going to take it serious anyway. But still, those guys did not do themselves any favors. Holy shit. Indeed, sometimes you got to throw your television out the fucking window. Agreed. But that one was dominating the headlines today. So that one is all over the news. Every single news outlet, big and small, across the country, hell, even across the world, is running with this one right now. So I felt it was important I break it down. And I'll go one step further here. So, of course, China and the United States, all you got to do is just type in something like Biden with China, and you get pictures like this. So you can see, behind the scenes, the politicians are shaking hands with those dudes and doing deals, talking behind our back about how much they like lying to us and dominating us and deceiving us. And so it doesn't just end here, like if I type in Trump, it's going to be the same thing. Right? It's the same deal. So Whether you're a Trump guy or whether you're a Biden guy, around here, I crucify them both as being no good tool puppets of the elite. So none of these guys are making any moves. These guys are fake puppets on strings. The people who are really calling the shots are out of the public eye. They're not famous. They don't want to be famous or well known. So, for instance, more people think that Trump is doing something or in charge behind the scenes than the Rothschilds. More people think Biden is in control and doing something than the Rockefellers. And that's where people, that's where people are so deceived, is they look at these puppets and they actually think that they are going to do something, help them in some sort of way, when really they're just actors on a world stage, just pretending to be a president, pretending to be a politician, really just playing out a role. That was hard for me to believe 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, but once I woke up and figured out this was true, that these people are puppets and they don't call any of the shots, and they're just reading a script and going over their rehearsed lines on camera. And oftentimes now we have the technology with deep fakes to where Trump doesn't have to be there, Biden doesn't have to be there. You can have a CGI deep fake on screen giving you a message. So now you can have CGI Biden give you a 30-second message, and they don't have to come out and tell you that that was CGI Biden. Why would they? They're totally allowed to lie to you legally. So whichever side you choose, the right side or the left side, they're both shaking hands with the same China. And China also has a fake space program. China also, teaches their citizens that they go to space and they have a space station. So China has their own space stations, supposedly. America has a space station. So they tell the same lies. So they're in bed together telling the same lies to their citizens. So you don't see China exposing to their citizens that the United States never walked on the moon. You don't see Russia or any country telling their citizens openly and teaching it in schools that the United States lies and they never walked on the moon. So being that none of the other countries expose our fake space program, that's proof to you that they're all in bed together with the same lies and they all work together. Okay, so now that I got that point out of the way, now I can get on to satellite balloons. And this is where it all comes together. So there are a such thing as satellites that can be attached to a balloon. So instead of having a satellite in outer space, you can have a satelloon, a satellite attached to a high altitude balloon. So when I went to look that up today, guess what is now involved in the search results with satellite balloons? Chinese spy balloon now. So now they have integrated the search results together so that if you try and look up information on satellite balloons, you're going to get, why is China using a spy balloon? What is a suspected Chinese spy balloon? So they're already conditioning the public to, if they were to see a satellite balloon, to think Chinese spy balloon. See? That makes sense, guys? You see what I put in this Google search there? I put a balloon satellite. I didn't put Chinese spy balloon. But still, the algorithm it makes it so that search result dominates. All right. Steve Tomato says, my take, it's a cover story, technology functioning in the concept of sorry, I can't read sometimes. I'm fucking squinting because my eyes are a bit blurry from working on videos and staring at screens all day. Let me try that again. My take, it's a cover story, technology functioning in the concept of geostationary satellites that need a line of sight to receive data. Think SXM radio, operate using stratosphere balloons. This one dipped into view. So there's a couple things, like I said, I'm about to get into the satellite balloon stuff, and then I'm going to get into it possibly even carrying a fake International Space Station. So I'm going to cover both those two things. And thank you, Steve Tomato, for the donation. And thanks for giving your take, buddy. I appreciate that. We're going to be pretty much on the same page here, as that's one of the things I'm thinking as well. So you type in satellite balloon, and you see what comes up on the screen. They link it right away to Chinese spy balloon. But I want to know what a satellite balloon is. So let's just get the regular wiki definition here. Satellite balloon. A balloon satellite is inflated with gas after it has been put into orbit. It is also occasionally referred to as Satelloon, which is a trademark name owned by Gilmore Schildall. Okay, so somebody has trademarked the term Satelloon and owns it. So balloon satellite. It's inflated with gas. All right, so basically, balloon satellite is a term that does exist. What are they used for? Serve for testing as passive communication and geodetic satellite. So many flat earthers, those who think the Earth is not a globe, will say that satellites in outer space don't exist. But they'll think that a satellite attached to a balloon is totally possible. And I am one of those people that agree that you could totally attach a balloon and a satellite together and have a satellite balloon. That's why they are right here admitting to satellite balloons existing. I just don't think there are satellites in outer space that are like boxes with wings. So I don't think satellites in outer space as they show us exist. I think satellites attached to balloons is something that does exist. So when I want to look at pictures, you'll see now they're mixing in the Chinese spy one in with the pictures. So you see these big ass like clear balloons when you look for pictures. Now you can see they're mixing in the Chinese spy balloon, or supposed Chinese spy balloon. They're mixing that one in with just balloon satellite photos. So now if you type in balloon satellite, they're making sure to put in some of the Chinese spy balloon propaganda shit in here. See, so what they're doing is they're clogging the search results with this propaganda. So I think if a satellite was to come down attached to a balloon and people were to see it, now they have preempted the whole thing. So this could be like a preemptive story that if a satellite attached to a balloon was to come down and the public was able to see it, they can say, oh no, that's one of them Chinese spy balloons. See? Now it's a Chinese spy balloon instead of a satellite attached to a balloon. Or, like I said, they could have actually had one malfunction. They could have had a satellite balloon malfunction, and then they claim it's a Chinese spy balloon. So a couple different reasons to do this psychological operation. All right, so I proposed that perhaps this thing hanging on the bottom here this part hanging on the bottom, I propose that it could possibly be the International Fake Station because it looks like it a little bit. So in my video I made today, for those of you who saw it, I'll just show it again. But I made a 5-minute video explaining how this thing could possibly be carrying an international fake station. All right. So before I show my video, let me present my case here. That not only could it be a satellite balloon with a satellite attached to a balloon, it could be a balloon carrying an international fake station used to trick people into thinking that they're seeing the International Space Station through a telescope and whatnot. So if I look up ISS pictures, if we look at the CGI, artificially created pictures of the International Space Station, we see it's got these panels. There's, looks like 4 of them on each side, long panels that stretch out. Well, I should say 8 on each side, right? And so when I was looking at the satellite balloon, or spy satellite, spy balloon, saying too many of the same words over and over. When I was looking at that, it almost looked like the ISS, like the panels on the ISS. See what I'm saying? So the bottom of this balloon looked like it was carrying these panels that look very similar to the International Space Station. So I made a speculation that this could possibly be a balloon carrying a international fake station replica used to dupe the public way up high in the sky. So imagine if you have a fake station attached. Damn it. This is what I meant to show you. Looks like I didn't have it on screen. So that part at the bottom of the balloon, I feel like that could be the International Space Station because it's got this very similar looking panels that the International Space Station is said to have. So I immediately, when I saw that, in my mind thought, I wonder if they could have a balloon carry like a fake station and get it up high enough and have it in places that it's supposed to be around the Earth to where people can look with a telescope and see it and think that they're actually seeing an International Space Station in outer space as a visual decoy there to trick people into thinking it's actually up there. Because people have told me they've seen the International Space Station in outer space with their telescope, and I know the International Space Station is fake, and I've proven it's fake, but they might be flying something around up there as a decoy to keep people thinking it's real. So I'll show you guys my video that I put out today. It's only 5 minutes. A lot of you might have seen it, but for those of you who haven't, I'll just play that.
Tonight after the Pentagon confirmed the mysterious flying object above the U.S. is a suspected Chinese spy balloon.
Today, the Pentagon said it's confident this is a Chinese spy balloon flying over sensitive sites to collect information.
That smells like some bullshit. That smells like some bullshit. That smells like some bullshit. Now I'm going to tell you what I think of it. First off, I don't believe for a second that China sent over a spy balloon to the United States that some random guy can spot in Montana. That just doesn't make any sense to me. In the year 2023, they should have much better spy technology, and I'm pretty sure that China would have better tactics than to send over a balloon that regular citizens can spot and that the United States can figure out immediately what it is. So I'm not buying this story at all, and I think we need to dive a little deeper.
Montana is home to one of the nation's 3 nuclear missile silo fields at Malmstrom Air Force Base. The military sent fighter jets, including F-22s, ready to shoot down the balloon if ordered by the White House. A decision was made not to shoot it down over fears it could injure people on the ground.
Lies, lies, lies. Let me tell you something. If the military was really concerned, they wouldn't give a flying fart about the people on the ground in Montana. Plus, Montana is one of the least populated states in the country. So they would shoot it down immediately if there was any concern. So again, I'm not buying this story that they thought about shooting it down, but decided not to because they didn't want to hurt the people.
Once the balloon was detected, the U.S. government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information.
Officials say the balloon is flying well above commercial air traffic.
I have no idea what it is.
Now that Chase does know, he's glad he was quick to grab his camera. His photos and videos are being shared around the world.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever I see every single mainstream media outlet all talking about the same thing at the same time, well, then I know that's something that I'm being lied to about. So I don't think for a second that China and the United States are at odds with one another. I think that the Chinese military and the United States military are one and the same. I think the Chinese government and the United States government work together. I think the politicians behind the scenes from China and the United States are friends, and they eat catered meals together and talk about how much they're going to dupe us and lie to us and dominate us.
In my photos, I could kind of see that what looked like solar panels sort of hanging off the bottom, and I said, well, that's probably it. It's probably not an extraterrestrial craft.
So we can see something is hanging from the balloon, and the eyewitness called it solar panels. However, my mind went somewhere entirely different. When I saw this, I immediately thought, International Fake Station. Oh, excuse me, International Space Station. So people have told me that they have seen the International Space Station through a telescope, and that they know something is up there. But my stance has always been, I don't care if there's something flying around up there that looks like a space station through a telescope. I have proven for a fact that what goes on inside the International Fake Station is indeed fake. So when people tell me they've seen something up there that looks like the space station, and they use that as some sort of proof that there's a space station in outer space, my rebuttal is they might have something up there flying around, but it's not in outer space. And so if I was going to speculate, and I am going to speculate, I could speculate that this fake International Space Station is attached to a balloon, and perhaps this fake International Space Station attached to a balloon that they used to dupe people had some sort of technical issue and came down and was in visible sight. And so, if people on the ground were seeing the International Fake Station attached to a balloon, well, they had to come up with a story real quick. And a good story to cover up the International Fake Station hanging from a balloon for the world to see would be Chinese spy balloon. Now again, this is just speculation. I can't prove that that was the International Fake Station hanging from that balloon. I don't even know if the pictures or videos of that balloon are even real. So my conclusion is I think this is all fake and set up. It's an operation to dupe the public. I can't tell you exactly what's going on, but those are my best thoughts so far. So if you will, leave me your comments down below and let me know what you think is going on, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. He was about to play Addicted to the Rush by Mr. Big, which is a good song because I listened to that the other day, so I was about to play that. But then Mr. Big would have owned the monetary rights to the rest of my content that I created here today because I play it for like a second, so I had to stop it. All right. So you guys see the story that they're going with here. And so, like I said, it could be like a preemptive strike to where if you were to see a balloon carrying a satellite or the International Fake Station, now they've got it covered. It's a Chinese spy balloon, right? So you can't get mad at the United States for faking space. Get mad at China for sending over spy balloons. See how they got you there? Don't get mad at the United States that they're lying about like satellites being in outer space, right? Instead, just say that China's spying on you with a balloon, and it all goes away. A spy loon, yes. It was a chin spy loon. A chink spy loon. "99 chink spy loofloon. Ning nong ning ching ching chong chong." All right, I think it's about time we make a bunch of racist Chinese jokes. I'm pretty sure, as people have mentioned in the chat, Baroon. I'm pretty sure somebody has mentioned that. Has somebody mentioned Baroon yet? It's a spy Baroon. Yes. Let's get that out of the way. I don't think it's a Baroon. I think somebody said more chins than Chinatown or something like that. Or a Chinese phone book. There we go. More chins than a Chinese phone book. Didn't Weird Al do a song, I'm Fat, like he redid Michael Jackson's song, I'm Fat? Doesn't he say I've got more chins than Chinatown? Something like that. I feel like that's a line from that song. I like at the end of the movie Christmas Story. It's a classic. If you haven't ever seen A Christmas Story, you should watch it. So at the end of the movie Christmas Story, they have the family go out to eat Chinese food on Christmas Day because their dinner was eaten by dogs. So they went out to eat Chinese dinner on Christmas Day, and Chinese people bring them out food, and they're singing Christmas carols in a like very typical like Chinese way that's like racist and funny at the same time. And it's something like this. It goes, "Deck the hall with bower of Rory, rah 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 rah. 'Tis the season to be Rory, rah 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 rah." And then the dude comes out of the back. He's like, "No, no, no. You sing like this. Deck the hall with bells of holly, la 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 la." Then they're like, "Oh, okay, okay." And they're like, "Deck the hall with bara rory, ra la ra ra ra." And he's like, "No, no, no, you sing something else." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Jingle bell, jingle all the way." And he's like, "No, no, no more sing. No, no, no." So that's a classic racist but funny, totally appropriate at the time. It was cool to be racist back then. I want to bring it back. I want to bring back cool racist jokes. Because back then it was cool to be openly racist. And that movie was made like shit, like in the 80s, and it was about living in like the 50s or some shit. Right? So it was cool to make fun of Chinese people not long ago. I want to bring it back. All right. And remember, this is a giant comedy routine. So any sort of truth that you gather from this is all up to you. Okay. So what I do is I do a giant comedy routine, and I try and incorporate what's going on in the world into my routine. And I also try and tell the truth as much as possible within my routine, so that you can't distinguish sometimes which is a joke and which is me just telling the truth, or which is both. And that's what keeps me from being censored here on the tube. It's because I'm doing a big comedy routine. See, so since I do a comedy routine, the algorithm can't tell that I'm waking people up and telling the truth. All right. DKO Pack 71 says Walmart is racist. They have Hispanic aisle and a cracker aisle. Yeah. Rose Bell says, remember the stickers of Asian drivers with the red line over it? I don't, but that sounds funny. I should order one of those and put it on my car so I can piss off Asians everywhere I go. And there's a lot of them in California, let me tell you. Yeah, sometimes, Andy, the Al Gore rhythm is an idiot. You know what it is? Al Gore created a rhythm, and he's stupid sometimes, and he goes all man bear pig. And so sometimes my videos will just go viral out of nowhere, and then other times they'll bury me and unsub people from my channel and make it so like none of my shit shows up in search results. So weird. It doesn't make any sense. This thing is ran by a computer. There's like I think like 5 people who actually work at YouTube headquarters, and the rest is just all computers and bots and Al Gore and his fucking rhythms. And so I can never really tell you when a video is going to do bad or good. Like sometimes, like if I just put out a topic at the right time when everyone else is talking about it, I'll just get artificially inflated. Like when I talked about Damar Hamlin right when it happened, I had a video like go over 100,000 views. It's like, holy shit. And then the very next video can drop right back down to just 10,000. So sometimes it's just like no rhyme or reason. You just have to talk about the right thing at the right time and catch Al Gore's rhythm stroke. You have to hope that Al Gore does some man bear pig shit and strokes you off with his Al Gore rhythm strokage, if that makes sense. Okay. Try and make sense of any of that, and then you can become a YouTuber just like me. Misanthropic says Asians are shisty though. Yeah, you know what? But at the same time, you don't see a shitload of like homeless Asians. So like in the United States, like I don't really ever see any homeless Asian people. So food for thought. So I got to give them that. Geraldo Morales has got to bounce. Jake, take it easy. Keep it real. Let me get one more Arnold talking about Al Gore. You want one more Arnold talking about Al Gore? Al Gore, he created this rhythm. He was washing his hands and making sure that his hands were sanitary. And then he got down and he got to the chopper. And after he took the chemical concoction, that is when he realized that he needed to create a new kind of rhythm to promote the search results to all of the people. When you go to the Google, you go to the Yahoo, and then you type it in and you type it in the search result. And that is how Al Gore created this rhythm so that whatever you find, that you do not find Jake the asshole. Al Gore personally make it so on YouTube that the algorithm does not show you Jake the asshole unless you type out every single word and spell it all the way. All right, there you go. Just for you, you know, and you donated earlier, so you get a double dose of Arnold. Rose Bellman says, no, I see black homeless. Yeah. So I see black homeless, I see Mexican homeless, and I see white homeless, but I don't really see Asian homeless. So you got to give them that at least. I'm not saying no Asian people are homeless anywhere ever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm in California where homelessness is big, and I'm in a major city where a lot, and not really any Asians. JL says, can we get a do? Yeah, I noticed a bunch of people saying that. It's like a catchphrase. So last week I did a breakdown of the Monterey Park shooting, and I showed the witness, who was an actor, how she was doing sound effects of a gun. So they had this Chinese lady. She was a witness at the supposed shooting in Monterey Park, and she was basically telling the story. And she's like, "Oh, he come in, he have gun, and he go do 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 do, and I see, and I scared, and it was like, oh no no no, and then he go do 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 do, and it sound like this, he go do 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 do." So I made fun of the Chinese lady, and then that was a big hit. And then everyone in the chat started saying do. And then like a week later, people are still saying it. So like I'd put out like a football video, and there'd be someone in the comments like do. So I guess it stuck with people enough. So that was from my last live stream. Yeah, the do lady. So if you missed it, yeah, go back and watch my breakdown of the Monterey Park deal. I broke that down, and I broke down the Damar Hamlin thing. That was last week. So Chinese lady's like, "Oh, he come in, he have gun, he like do, and then I scare, and then I run, and then he come back, and then he have gun again, and then he got do, and it was do. Like that's how she sounded telling the story. Oh, awesome, Chinese lady! I'm glad you were there to give us that riveting account of the action and the realistic sounds of the gunman." Now I want to see like a Rambo movie where they like cut out the gunfire sound and replace it with Chinese do lady. So imagine watching like Rambo, and he's like firing like an automatic weapon, and it's just like and guys are dropping, you know, and like shit's blowing up and whatever, and he's like, "Hey yo, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm Rambo, yo," and it's like me so hungry with a donation. Me so hungry. Me so hungry. Me so hungry. I love it. Long time. There you go. You like what I did there? Thank you for the donation. Here's an interesting take that no one said. They're probably covering up Nibiru. You see, I don't believe in Nibiru because Nibiru suggests that it's a planet out there that's gonna like slam into Earth or do whatever, and it's like some fantasy shit. So I never liked the Nibiru thing because it never tied back into like like Earth not being a ball. It's like Nibiru kind of ties back with Earth being a ball somehow. Like if I remember, it was something about like another planet or some shit in the solar system and stuff. And I just don't believe in any space shit that they tell us. And there's a lot of guardrail controlled opposition out there to try to get you to believe in UFOs and space aliens and stuff coming from other planets and extraterrestrial beings from other planets flying here on spacecraft and shit. And I don't really buy into that. Instead, I think if an alien species was going to come over from somewhere, they're going to come from like really far that way, or really far that way, not outer space. Yeah, see, the planets are just twinkly dots. So when you look up and you see twinkly dots, there's stars that are twinkly dots. Then there's planets that are twinkly dots. But those aren't actual worlds. So when you look at Mars, it's like a red twinkly dot, reddish orangish twinkly thing. It doesn't like, it's not like a place you can go to. It's not like a desert world like they tell us. So Earth is not a spinning ball in outer space, which is why they fake space. And so everything they tell you about it's just such a lie. And so you have to look at it from a perspective of what can you as a human prove? Well, you can look up there and see some twinkly stuff, but that doesn't mean that they're suns trillions of miles away or planets hundreds of thousands of miles away and stuff like that. So I don't buy into what they say about any of the stuff in the sky. And instead I look at it like as what I see. So I see twinkly dots. I call them stars, but I don't think that those are suns, distant suns. And I see the wandering stars they call planets, but I don't think that those are physical worlds that you can travel to or send a spaceship to in any sort of fashion. Like, so I don't think there's a rover on Mars. I don't think you can put a rover on the moon or anywhere. So I don't think they go to any of those places. So when people refer to like dots in the sky as like places or like, you know, making some sort of jump like Nibiru or Planet X and what have you, that kind of goes in the sci-fi category for me. All right. And some people, you know, they believe that the Earth is concave. So there's people who don't just think that the Earth is flat. There's people who think it's the globe the other way around, inside out. So, and really, that's no more crazy than thinking it's a globe. And so, it's becoming more popular than ever to realize that the Earth isn't a globe. But then trying to figure it out from there, that's the tricky part. So I'm in the camp where the horizon seems flat, water seems to lay flat. It doesn't seem to be a globe. Definitely not spinning in outer space. Concave is I still have a problem with the Earth being like completely concave to where I'm walking up walls. It just doesn't jive well with me. But I guess like if I was going to choose between a concave Earth and then a ball Earth, I would choose concave over ball because they would still have to fake space in a concave Earth. So I've actually looked at all the pros and cons of the different cosmologies that were handed, and I find flaws in all of them. So people who've been watching me for years know that like I don't hang my hat on any one map or model, and I can find issues with all of them. And I have. And another guy who's helped me do that, Q and Fee, between the two of us, we'll punch holes in pretty much every map and model that's presented, and we're left wondering, like, what the hell is this place? So that's where I come from, a standpoint of I know it's not a spinning globe in outer space, but I can't tell you exactly what it is. So Steve Tomato says, if there are extraterrestrials there from other temperate zones beyond the ice we know as Antarctica. Yeah, and see, we don't even know if we're surrounded by ice. So we're told that there's ice in every direction. If you look at the regular AE map flat Earth model, we're told that you're surrounded by it. And then on the globe model, they say, there's ice up the North Pole, ice down at the South Pole. And then concave model, it's going to be the same thing, ice up north and ice down south. But what you don't hear a lot about is an alternative model where you're not surrounded by ice. So perhaps there is ice in some regions north and south, but there might also be areas beyond where us regular humans are going and exploring that might be closed off to the public, where it might be temperate, like you say, and there could be higher forms of species, other creatures that are more advanced. They could be humans that are just more advanced. So this could be a region where they're like keeping us as like slaves, like holding us as like hostage chicken nuggets, basically, to like harvest our souls. So you got to look at it like the Earth could be way bigger than they tell us, and there could be societies kept as a secret from us. So rather than going to another planet to find aliens, you might actually just go west or east far enough and get to some place that's not on any map that we've been shown, that's been hidden from us. And so theoretically, you could have some sort of more advanced humans or more advanced extraterrestrials from extra terrain here on the Earth rather than outer space. Thank you, Steve, for the donation. So if you look at what's up in the sky, we see a moon, but we only see one side. So we can't even prove that the moon that we're looking at is a sphere. So oftentimes, people who are new to the subject of the Earth not being a ball, they'll say, well, everything up in the sky is a sphere. So why would the flat Earth be, a pancake floating around in space? Well, no flat earther believes that the flat Earth is floating around in outer space out like a pancake. And second of all, just because you see something round in the sky doesn't mean it's a sphere. So when you see the moon, you're only seeing one side. We can't see the other side, can't see any of the sides. We're stuck seeing the same side forever, permanently. And so you're going to die seeing only that one side. Now, NASA can show you in a picture what the other side looks like. They can be like, look, we took a picture. Here's what the other side looks like. But you, standing on Earth, aren't going to ever see the other side. So I can say that the moon could be just a flat disk up there and might not actually be spherical. But then that presents problems too because of the way we view it. And so if it was just simply a flat disk, then it would sit up above like this, and it would change shape as you viewed it from different parts of the Earth. So there's something going on with the moon that defies the flat Earth model, and it defies the globe Earth model. And I can't make a full conclusion on what the hell it is. And same deal with the sun. So the sun could be like a flat disk and not be an actual ball. So there's no proof that the sun's a ball. If you put a filter over the sun, you can't prove that it's actually a ball. It's just a circle. So what we're seeing is a circle moon and a circle sun up in the sky, but we don't actually know for a fact that those are spheres. And even if they were spheres, that wouldn't prove that you're standing on a sphere. So just because you see something in the sky doesn't mean you're going to be standing on that thing. So oftentimes I've heard people say, well, if the moon is round and the sun is round, obviously the Earth has to be round. Well, the word round is misleading. Like I said, just because you see a circle in the sky doesn't necessarily mean you have to live on a circle. So it's like logic that doesn't prove that you live on a circle just because you can see a circle. So for those of you new to the subject, there is a lot of disinformation when it comes to the Earth not being a globe. And I have plenty of videos about it on my channel. And there's also a great channel called Q and Feast that does breakdowns of how the globe model doesn't work and how the flat Earth model doesn't work. Also, the globe model, one of the flaws that you don't hear globers talking about is that for celestial navigation, they have to use a mean sun. A mean sun is an imaginary sun. So for celestial navigation, they have to use an imaginary sun. And the reason for that is because the angles at which everyone observes the sun, they don't triangulate back to the same one sun. So you could have 1,000 people all seeing the sun at the same time on Earth from north to south, all seeing the same sun at once. And you would think that if you took measurements from everyone's angle seeing the sun, that all those would have to go connect back to the same one sun. Here's the thing: is the measurements at which we all see the sun, the angles, I should say, at which we all see the sun and the moon and the stars will vary, and they won't triangulate back to the same spot. So that's why they have to use an imaginary sun for celestial navigation calculations. So what that tells you is if you can see the sun and someone else can see the sun, but the angles at which you see it don't triangulate, that means you're seeing the sun in different places at once. So does that mean there's two suns? No, it means even if there's 100 or 1,000 suns, you're literally seeing the sun in different places at the same time, which is not possible on anyone's model. And so what Q and Fee and what I've shown you on this channel, we're like two of the only channels that really demonstrate that out there. The angles at which we see the sun are independent, and locally, those angles will match the data that we're given on the official websites. But if you try and mesh all that data together and triangulate that data to where you're looking at everyone's observation of the sun and you combine that data, then it doesn't make sense. So locally, the data makes sense. You can go find out where the sun's supposed to rise and set, and it's going to be there. However, if I take your observations and my observations and 100 other people's observations of the same sun on the same day at the same time, it's going to show that it's in like 100 different places at once. It's not going to triangulate back to one single sun. And so it's like that not only with the sun, it's like that with the moon, and it's like that with the stars as well. So it's as if there's like a personal dome around you with the sun and the moon and the stars in a little tiny personal dome around you. But it's not like there's one giant one that we can all see at the same time that adds up perfectly. So it's like the data only works locally for you, but when you try and combine all the data together, then you'll see it fall apart. It's really hard to explain to people, and even when me and Q and Fee have done videos about it, it's like only some people get it. It's very tough to like wrap your mind around how bad they duped you about how magical this place is. Brining Shitely says, please expose Major League Baseball. So yeah, all the major sports are fixed and phony, not just football. So if you started watching me because of the fake football, basketball's phony too. You can easily shave points off the board. Guys cannot play defense. You can call a foul on any old ticky-tack thing or just not call a foul. And so it's really easy to rig any of the sports, really. Baseball, you can have a pitcher just walk a guy on purpose. You can have a batter strike out on purpose. So they were talking about how the Astros stole some signs and were cheating. Yeah, that's bullshit. All you have to do is just have the players just purposely do some stupid shit. Purposely strike out, not run your fastest and get tagged out on a double play, shit like that. Like if I ran my fastest and I could beat a double play, and then if I ran 70% speed and they could totally fucking tag me out, that's right there. That's enough to fix a game. You know? Something as simple as just not running your fastest on purpose is enough to technically be fixing a game. So it's so easy to fix any sport, no matter what it is. There's always a way. And yes, they do it. If there's money on the line, enough money, then yes, they're going to fix it for sure, for their benefit. All right. Oh, and all the logos have red and blue. So if you look at Major League Baseball logo, it's like red and blue, and then the NBA logo and the NFL logo, they all have the same logo basically. So it's like a silhouette of a basketball player with red and blue, a silhouette of a baseball player with red and blue. NFL, it's the shield with red and blue. So all of the leagues use red and blue. WWE, SmackDown and Raw, red and blue. Democrat, Republican, red and blue. See how that works? It's not by accident. Looks like I missed the super chat. Florida Todd says, deep question, your thoughts on religion. I personally have never grown up part of any organized religion. So I grew up with more of an atheist mindset. My dad would always like talk about, how, not always, but he would kind of allude to like it's dumb to believe that there's a magic man in control of all this. And so he was a firm believer, and still is, in the official narrative in outer space and Earth being created by a Big Bang, official mainstream science. So my dad is totally into that. And so my mom just sent me off to school, and she never really talked about science or God or how the Earth is created. But my dad was more of an atheist mindset. So basically, I grew up with that same mindset, never went to church, and it wasn't until 2015 when I discovered the flat Earth topic that I realized I was wrong about the Earth being created, and that it had to be created by something, and that the story of evolution and the Earth being created by a Big Bang doesn't add up. So that's when I started thinking, okay, there could be a God, but what is it? And so I never was raised in any sort of religion, so I didn't automatically just become a Christian or automatically just latch on to any one religion. But I did start looking at God as a possibility, and more so than any Big Bang. So I throw the official mainstream science out the window of a Big Bang creating this place by accident. I know that that's bullshit. No chance is anyone going to convince me of that. But like I said, I didn't automatically then just become a Christian and start thumping the Bible. So I have a large audience who is Christian, and a lot of people who do read the Bible watch me. And so I don't poo-poo on the religion, or anybody's religion for that matter. However, well, I guess I poo-poo on the atheism religion and in the scientism, mainstream science as a religion. I poo-poo on that, but I don't really go after any certain religion, because I don't really know who or what created this place. So basically, to get around to my thoughts on, who or what is God, I don't know who or what is God, but I do think there is some sort of God or creator involved here. And I've had a lot of different things happen to me in my life that just are beyond coincidence, and I'm sure a lot of you have too. I've even had a psychedelic experience where it was presented to me that I was God, and that was a lot to handle, and I still don't know what to make of that. So one time I smoked a big hit of DMT and had a psychedelic experience where it was presented that I was God. But then when I came back to and came out of it, I wasn't sure what to make of that. And I still don't know what to make of that. But in the moment, that did seem to feel right. It seemed to be an aha moment in that moment. So Maybe perhaps you guys have had a similar experience like that where you figure out you are the God of your own existence, or we are all God in some way, or God is living through all of us. I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure all that out, and I haven't made up my mind concrete in one way or the other. And so there you go. Whew. And I know everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. Well, some people are going to have the same opinion as others, of course, but some people are going to be hardcore, down to the word of the Bible, and then other people are going to be more open and flexible on this topic. And then some people are going to be like, there are no gods, science is right. And so, to every his own. JL says, where's that guitar at? Oh, I got them sitting over here. I don't have any of them hooked up right now or tuned up or anything. I could put on a song where I play some guitar, but I don't have any of them hooked up and ready to go. If I had one hooked up, tuned up, and I'd warmed up a little bit today, then I would jam, but it would take me 20 minutes just to get everything set up and ready to go the way I like it. All right, let me put on a song that is relative to what we're doing, related to what we're doing. Pretty sure I have a song about satellites in space. Pretty sure it's called There Are No Satellites in Space. Pretty sure that's what I named it. Let me look that up real quick. Pull it up. We'll do a quick musical break.
Scott Kelly, he's a fucking liar. He's hanging around in a harness in front of a green screen. That bald fucking liar's in space. And you can see it written all over his blood red face. There are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There are no astronauts in space. So you assume there are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There is no space station in space. NASA never went to the moon. The image you see in the telescope, it might be a hologram. Have you ever heard of this thing called Project Blue Beam? Cause you'd be amazed what they're actually doing with all of our money. They're keeping us locked away from the land. of milk and honey. There are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There are no astronauts in space. So you'll assume there are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There is no space station in space. NASA never went to the moon. You can't fool me, 'cause I'm too slick. You can't fool me, 'cause my mind's too quick. Bitch, so suck up my dick. 'Cause I'm not falling for your corny cartoons. Because I am not a well-indoctrinated. On no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There are no astronauts in space. So you'll assume there are no satellites in space. NASA never went to the moon. There is no space station in space. NASA never went to the moon. No, they didn't. Not even fucking once, y'all. I said, yes, I never went to the moon. No, they didn't. Not even fucking once, y'all. I said, yes, I never went to the moon. To the moon. To the moon. Yes, I never went to the moon. To the moon. To the moon. Yes, I never went to the moon. To the moon. To the moon. Yes, I never went to the moon.
All right, so there's a little music. Now, it doesn't sound as good when I stream it. So if you want to hear it and have the sound quality be much better than what you just heard, if you go watch the actual video, the sound will be much better. So when I stream it, you're getting like a cut down version of it. But anyway, it's still pretty good, right? So that is There Are No Satellites in Space, the official music video, written by me, performed by me. Thank you very much, Timothy D. Thank you, Akawer Pio. Akawer Pio, Leo 9. Akawer Pio, Leo 9. Thanks, man. Oh, you want some more? Do you want some more? Oh, thank you, thank you. Agent 69, 69 says, howdy from Texas. Howdy, Agent 69.
No more spreadsheets. Automate your sales process with DealHub.
Rock, rock, rockin' Robin. Say go rockin' Robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight. Well, pretty little raven at the bird bandstand taught the man to do the bop, and it was grand. Started going steady, bless my soul. He outpopped the buzzard and the Oriole. He rocks in the treetops all day long, hopping and the bopping and the singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love the way the robin going tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, rock, rock, rockin' Robin. Now go rockin' Robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight. Yeah! Give it up! Y'all give it up! Since you was high class, you know that was just a lie. Well, they said you was high class, you know that was just a lie. Well, you went and never called a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. Party time! Woo! Well, come on and kiss me, baby. Oh, you know it feels really good. Come on and hold me, baby. I want to love you like a lover should. It's your fine, so kind. You got to tell the world that you're mine, 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 mine. And chew my nails and a twiddle my thumbs. I'm really nervous, but it sure looks fun. Come on, baby, you're driving me crazy. Well, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Woo! Oh, thank you, thank you. The kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old and that old time rock and roll. Sing it now. Still like that old time rock and roll. The kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old and that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. Woo! The kind of music does. Now reminisce about the days of old and that old time rock and roll. We're like that old time rock and roll. There you go. There's my old job. So in 2000, God, I want to say 18 and 19, I did this for a living, and I wasn't making as many videos at that time. I was kind of slowing down on YouTube. I was doing 3 shows a day sometimes, and so I was singing full time, doing these nursing homes, and doing some other music gigs as well, like with bands and stuff. But mainly this was what I was doing, is singing these oldies gigs. And shit, it was decent money. You know, I was charging them places like $100 an hour just to go in and sing some oldies karaoke. They clap, they cheer, pack up my shit, go to the next one, sing another hour. They clap, they cheer, pack up my shit. So I would do 3 of those in a day sometimes. It's fun work, very rewarding, and it feels good. And then 2020 rolled around. 2020 rolled around and destroyed this work, and every single gig that I had lined up vaporized. And it showed me that I could create a job and have something that I do where I work, you know, for lots of different companies where I can't be fired and they call me nonstop to come do this job. But the government can run a psychological operation, right? 2020 rolls around, right? The C word, the boogeyman disease, literally destroyed the job. Every single gig that I had, and I had permanent gigs at like 30 facilities, probably 20 to 30 facilities every single month. I had like a permanent gig there, and then a bunch of other sporadic ones that would just hire me
every other month or every few months. And so my schedule was just packed with these shows, and they were really fun and easy, and it felt good. And so when the government pulled their shit, you better believe it bothered me more than a regular person, you know. So to this day, it bothers me because the facility you're looking at here, they called me up probably 4 or 5 months ago, and they asked if I would come sing, and we set up a show. And then they called me back a half an hour later, and they said, "Oh, have you been vaccinated?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Oh, well, we can't have you come sing if you haven't been vaccinated." So to have a place like offer you a gig like a year and a half later, 2 years later, and then take it back from you, it's just like a slap in the face. So there's some facilities that will let me sing, so I can still go sing a few times a month if I wanted, but the majority of them, they aren't interested in having a guy who's openly anti-vax. And I'm not the type to go make a fake. I could have went and made a fake vax card and played the fake game and pretended, but I'm not the type of guy to lie just to go do a job. Like, I'm not going to lie and be like, "Oh yeah, I totally got it, yeah," and then like show them a fake thing. It's like, I feel like that's going along with the evil bullshit. So I tell them, no, I'm not, and I'm not gonna be. And so, as you can imagine, that job isn't really something I get to do a whole lot anymore. Every once in a while, they still call me up, and every once in a while, the facility will let me sing, but not many. Samantha Inglesia says that's a shame. I'm sure it bothered a lot of the people you were singing for too. Well, see, when 2020 rolled around, they locked down all the old people there. So they locked them down from their own family. So they didn't just cancel my gigs, they locked them down like prisoners. And even their own family members could only visit them from behind glass. Like, while they were members in that facility, their own family members weren't even allowed to come in. So if you guys remember, concerts all over the world got shut down. And there was a time period where, like, the WWE was doing wrestling matches in a studio without a crowd, and they were playing NBA inside of a studio without a crowd. They were playing football in empty stadiums, if you remember. And so during that time period, yeah, the singing in nursing homes was dead as a doornail. Like, so much red tape that you got to go through, and everybody involved in this industry, in the nursing home deal, they're all just pro-vax. Oh God, you got to get it, otherwise you might pass it on to one of these poor old people. Well, Jake, we just can't let you in there because you might pass on the boogeyman disease to these old people and they might die. Very sad. Because I know I've never harmed anybody doing this job. So when I would sing, I was bringing people joy and doing something beneficial for them, for me, the world. And to have, like, this boogeyman disease, this C word, come in and just completely take what was mine that I made for myself still fucking bothers me. So whenever I get a chance to stick it to the government, I don't shy away. So I was the guy that stood in the face of COVID and let people cough in my face to prove that you're not going to die. So any shill out there who's too much of a chicken shit to show their face, if they ever use my name, they ever use Jake Gibson or Jake the Asshole's name, they won't dare show you that part. They won't dare show you me singing for the elderly. So there are shills out there who will try and drag my name through the mud. But they don't like to talk about that stuff that I just showed you. And they don't ever have any footage of themselves doing anything like that. So the people who've talked the most shit about me online don't have any examples of themselves doing anything beneficial for the world like I just showed you. So if you ever come across anyone making a video telling you about what kind of a shitty guy Jake the Asshole is, well, now you know what kind of a guy I am and where I come from. TMT for Life says more advantage gambling. Yeah, I still do that. I have been a pro slot slammer since 2019. So I picked up the advantage slot playing in 2019. That's when I started to win. And then they shut down everything in 2020. Even all the casinos, they shut it down. Then once they reopened them back up, and then I got back at it. And I've been slamming slots to the day. It's a job. You have to walk around. You have to know how to play certain games, and you have to walk around, check the machines, find the advantage. But not all slot machines are created equal. Some of them can definitely be beaten. And if you know what you're looking for and how to find the advantages, you can win. You can win more than you lose. It is a thing. Red Dog says, I hate any channel that puts Jake down. Yeah, you know, there's channels out there that are just absolute dog shit shills whose job it is to talk shit about me. And then there's people who are just like straight up jealous who want to try and like take me down a peg by like taking a video of me and misrepresenting what I say, cutting up little things that I say, taking what I say out of context to try and make me look bad. So there's videos out there that'll like be highly edited, that'll take something I've done in a comedy routine and cut it up to make me look crazy. So there's times where I was, you know, doing impressions and stuff. If you've ever seen me do an impression of like Macho Man Randy Savage and go like extra, you know, go the extra mile to make it like as Randy Savage as possible. Somebody can like cut up little clips of me doing all this shit and make it look like I'm like crazy and schizo. They'll be like, look at Jake the schizo. He was on drugs. And then they'll show a clip of me like, let me tell you something. If you want to mess with me, and they'll be like, look, he's crazy. He's got to be on drugs. It's like, dude, I was doing a pro wrestling fucking impression, bro. So there's people out there that'll like find any clip of me where they can try and paint me out as being crazy, schizo, whatever. And then they'll cut it up and make these little hit piece shit videos. And you know what happens? They never work. Like people who watch my channel and dig my channel, they don't see those videos and go, oh, you're right. I'm unsubbing. Screw that guy. So old Patty Cake Truthner, for instance, made like 6-7 videos about me, and none of them seemed to do the job. I still was the #1 guy making rigged NFL content the entire season. And no matter what Patty Cake Truthner did to try and stop that, all the little stupid videos that he made, none of them worked. In fact, sometimes it would like, those were the days where my subs count would go up even higher. It's like he was sending extra people my way. And then they were showing up to my channel, watching me and going, oh, this guy's good. He's better than Pat. I think I like this guy better. So what's funny is there's some people who will try and chalk shit on me, make these hit piece videos. But then all that does inevitably is send people to the channel. They watch a video and they realize I'm fun to watch. I'm entertaining. And then they subscribe and become fans. It's just that simple. Jennifer Harwood says Jaron is craptastic. Oh yeah, so I went to war with a shill known as Jaronism. He's a flat Earth shill who promotes the AE map circle sun debunked flat Earth map and model. And it's his job to intercept anyone who figures out the Earth isn't a globe and recruit them into his like flat Earth cult camp that him and David Weiss run. And they want you to come to conferences and they want you to download their tracking app so that they can track you and watch you while you pee. And so I'm against those guys, and I went to war with those guys, and I did a series of videos basically exposing the shit out of them. And Jaron even went as far as to call the cops on me. He called the actual cops on me, and he tried to get a restraining order against me, and it failed. So he actually like tried to take legal action against me because I exposed him so badly here on YouTube. I spanked him so bad in front of everybody. He like tried to go get legal assistance to get me to stop. And it totally did not work. Yeah, can you believe that? Yeah, so there's a guy named Jaron Campanella. He was in a Flat Earth documentary, a hit piece documentary, made to make the whole Flat Earth concept seem stupid. So he's an actor who was in a documentary with a bunch of other loser-ass shills, and they were basically casted in this documentary to make the whole topic of the Earth not being a globe just look completely stupid, something you should never look into. And they just wanted to show you that it's only these goofy, stupid people like Jaron and Patricia Steer and Mark Sargent who believe in it. So they had this Netflix documentary called Beyond the Curve. Behind the Curve or Beyond the Curve? I want to say it's Behind the Curve. It's either Beyond or Behind the Curve. So Netflix documentary. It got like 15 million views, 10, 15 million views, something like that. And so the consensus was, look at these retarded flat earthers. They're so retarded. Let's laugh at them in this Netflix documentary. And so Jaron is a star of the Netflix documentary. He basically fails a flat earth experiment, and they make it out like he proves the earth is a globe with his experiment. So he fails an experiment, and his results seem to indicate Earth being a globe. So the whole thing was just an absolute shit show. And I called him out for this. And wow, the backlash was extreme. They had like the entire cult of flat earthers and all the shills involved all kind of come at me at once. Quite the shit show. So here's the deal. I wasn't in any of those Netflix documentaries or any of those hit pieces done on the flat earth. All the shill flat earthers are in those. I avoided all those because I'm not a shill and I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I learned hard enough just by meeting some shills and thinking that they were legit, only to find out that I was wrong. And unlike those people, I admit when I'm wrong. So on the occasions where I did shake hands with some shills who I thought were legit truthers like myself, whenever they proved that they were not, and I found out that they weren't legit, I was the first to let you know that they're lying sacks of shit. Jaron being one of them. Waiting to Die says $2 more to find all my missed super chats. Oh shit. My bad, dude. I've been ranting for like 10 straight minutes. Let me go back and try and find it. Oh, here's one. Waiting to Die says hologram Jake for the old folks. Oh, during the lockdown, well, not, it was just maybe after they finally let us back out of our houses. But when they started letting me come back to sing, there was a few facilities that asked if I would come sing to the residents behind glass. So basically they're behind like a window and then they watch me perform like outside. So like it was so weird. I did like think 2 and I told them I'm not going to do it because it made me depressed. It's like, so imagine when you see what I showed you, how we were dancing and they're singing along and they're dancing and stuff. So imagine they're sitting behind glass now. And then I show up and sing a show from behind glass. Totally not the same. No connection at all. Nobody's dancing. So I did that, I think, twice, and I told him, not going to do that. But yeah, there was no hologram Jake. No, I enjoyed being there and performing. Did you have any other super chats that I missed? And I think I got this one during the video. Timothy D. Goal says, I notice you like all the comments on posted vids. I try to go through and read them all. And plus, I like to get rid of the troll comments and just delete them on site. I don't like to let trolls take over my comment section because they will. So I go through and I read them and hit the like button and the heart thing just to show you. And I try and respond in a lot of cases too. I can't respond to everyone's comments because there's too many, but I do try and read them all. It eats up a shitload of time. You know how much time I spend just reading through comments, making sure that a bunch of trolls aren't like taking over? Because trolls will. They'll come in, take over. Like, there are people that will literally show up and be like, hey, Jake the Fake, I'm glad your dog's dead, you piece of shit. And it's like, okay, you're gone, blocking you. So there's people out there who are nasty human beings who like live for the moment to talk some shit to me in my comments section. So I love all the awesome comments and the supportive comments, but with that comes a bunch of trash and troll comments as well that I also inevitably have to read. Yeah. Oh, no. If you think I'm kidding, I'm not even kidding. There were people when I first said that DeMar was faking his injury, there was probably 10 different instances where people brought up my dog dying and said that I was faking it. That my dog's fake, that I faked the whole thing, or like made some weird shit involving my dead dog. Like, it was pretty strange. So that day when I called out DeMar as not being injured, and I called it out the day it happened, my video went to 100,000 views. There were troll comments and paid bots that were showing up with profiles that were created that same day. Like, I could go click on a profile and check and see when the profile was created, and it was created that day. So people are creating an account to show up the Jake the Asshole's DeMar video and say you lied about your dog being dead. Like, fucking, like, what? Who takes the time to do that? And so when I look at how I got over 100,000 views on that video, and I had probably, I don't know, 1,000 different troll comments that like people I've never seen before, and I got a shitload of thumbs down like on that video. Like, it was like this artificial inflation of the view count, which also caused an artificial inflation of troll comments and bot comments. So instead of the usual 90% good comments and only 10% trolls, it was like fucking almost like 60% trolls, like almost more trolls than it was good comments. And it took me like days to get rid of every fucking one of them, if that makes sense. And so I sit there and wonder, like, who the fuck are they employing? Is it a robot or is it a person who's going to create an account and then show up and then try and attack me and hurt me with like mentioning my dog, passing, and like just really weird shit that that I've seen occur here on YouTube that makes me wonder, like, okay, are these humans who they're sending over who are making all these accounts who are specifically like targeting me, or is this some sort of like robot system? They can send robotic trolls, like, so weird. Rocky Shepherd says, what's the difference from a troll and a shill? Well, a paid shill is like somebody like Jeranism, who I talked about, who's in like a Flat Earth documentary, who's like an actor, controlled opposition. Alex Jones is a classic example of a shill. Pat McAfee is a shill for the NFL. So Pat McAfee is saying, oh, no, the NFL's not rigged. It's legit. People just think it's rigged because of the refs. So Pat McAfee is shilling for the NFL right now. So I wouldn't say Pat McAfee is just a troll. Now, someone who shows up to Jake the Asshole's channel to say, Jake the Fake, you've never played football in your life and everything you say is fucking a lie. That's like just someone who's just a fucking troll. You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of times I don't even know if those are even real people or if it's like one person making a shitload of accounts to try and troll me with. So it might even just be like one dude who makes 10 different channels. And then when I block him, he goes and jumps into another account to come attack me again. So I have to also consider, like, some people hate me so much, they're going to have 5, 10 accounts that when I block one, they're going to come back with another. And so I was noticing that, like, I was having conversations with somebody about DeMar. And so, like, the first video I put out about DeMar, I was having conversations with people about it. And then trolls would jump into my conversations and be like, I bet you also believe that Trump's in control. I bet you also believe in Quannon. I bet you also think Trump didn't lose the election. Is like they would like jump in and try and like pin a bunch of like bullshit on me in the middle of my conversation. So it happened several times where I would be talking to somebody like in the comments section who's agreeing with me, and some troll account that was created that day will be like, I bet you guys also think that the moon landing was fake. I bet you guys also believe Alex Jones and shit like that. And it kept happening to the point where it was like so much more so than any of my other videos that I took notice. So there are people who hate me enough that they're not paid. They're just going to show up and just talk shit. But then I also believe there are people who are like paid to do it. Try and like take over the comments section. So then I have to spend my time grooming the comments section. And if I set all the comments to approve, well, then I still got to go through and read them all to approve whether they're okay or not. So if I set the comments to approve, none of your comments will show up when you type them until I specifically approve them. But then that means they all pile up in a fucking folder and I got to go through and one by one approve them, yes or no. So I just leave them all up there and let anyone post, but then I go through and I read them. And then any of them that I see that I don't like or that seem like they're undermining what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Jake, I agree with you, but I don't agree with you this time. You're completely wrong. That type of shit. Gone. So anybody trying to undermine my message or make it or influence public opinion in the chat, I get rid of that. Because I notice on my shorts videos, like somebody will be like, you've never played football before, retard. And then a bunch of fanboys will hit the thumbs up button. And if I don't go delete it, a fanboy dissing me will become the top comment. And so I'm not going to let fanboys saying I'm stupid for thinking the NFL's rigged all thumbs up each other's comments and dominate and make it look like talking shit to Jake is the cool thing to do in the comments section. No. So yes, I censor and I take out anything I don't like. If I don't like it, I boot it. And so people will be like, oh, well, that goes against your message of free speech. No. I don't think that trolls should have a spot on my page to push their bullshit and diss me and push lies about me under the guise of free speech. So you have your own free speech to say whatever you want over on your page or wherever you want, but you don't get to come over to my page and undermine me and my message and shit on me in the comments section and then take fucking 20 fake accounts and inflate all those comments to where they're at the top and make it look like everyone hates me in my own comment section. No way. Fuck that. And if you were me, you would be doing the same thing. No way would you let fucking 10,000 trolls come take over your spot. You just delete them. Boop, 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 delete them all. So I usually get a lot of awesome comments, but I get a lot of shitty ones. And I get 2 to 3 words into the comment, and I just delete it. Well, if the NFL really was rigged, then blah, gone. Well, explain this. If the NFL was rigged, then how come gone? Yeah, but there's really no reason to lie about the Chinese drone. Gone. Silu Dunji says, I started watching you. You are the real deal. Well, I'm glad you started watching me. Welcome aboard. I am the real deal. This is the realest dealest channel on the internet. Not just YouTube, but all of the internet. It's not only the most realist dealest, it is the funniest and most entertaining as well. So basically, I am the funniest, most entertaining individual who ever lived in this place. And this is my comedy routine that I do off the cuff, off the cusp, off the cuff live, where it's unscripted, shooting from the hip, making it up on the spot, right? In between that and my video content and all the different types of content I have created, this has to be and is the best channel that ever existed or will ever exist. Now, my opinion is biased because I'm me, but if you're a fan and you've been here long enough, eventually you're going to agree. Because if there was somebody more entertaining and more funny and better than me, well, then I would go watch them and I would like be their friend and stuff. But there isn't. 1888 Bryce says, great show. Y'all don't sugarcoat at all. That's not my style. I don't sugarcoat it. You know, I'm not going to pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. I'm going to tell you how it is, at least how I see it. And I like to also do it in a comedic way. I like to take shit in the world that sucks and is sad and depressing and make a joke out of it and make it funny. And then I can teach my audience something that's going on, expose something. And at the same time, I like to make it fun and entertaining. And so the way I usually do that is by like busting the balls of the bad guys. So I'm a bad guy ball buster, and I do it in a way that makes it fun for the audience. So even though the bad guys are winning and they totally run this place and we're totally screwed, I like to make the best of a bad situation and make fun of those assholes and expose their games and their lies and their shenanigans and have a good time here with my audience at the same time and make a comedic routine out of the whole thing. Indeed, Sean, that's what real comedy is, and that's why comedy is controlled as far as Hollywood movies, HBO specials. So comedy is controlled. They're trying to push this narrative that the fake Dave Chappelle is the funniest comedian, and he totally sucks. He's nowhere near as good as real Dave Chappelle. Real Dave Chappelle was funny. Fake Dave Chappelle is everything wrong with comedy. And at the tippity top of comedy, it is absolutely controlled. You don't see any really good, edgy comedians out there telling the truth quite like me. Even guys who used to be edgy have sold out in one way or another. So guys who like were edgy for a while, like Bill Burr, eventually they toe the line and push the mainstream narrative about something. Whether it's the boogeyman disease, the C word, whether it's the VAXX, whether it's backing Biden or Trump or any official scientific narrative, fake space, eventually the celebrities all show their true colors, that they're sellouts. And so here we are. I guess his name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. Lachlan Barron, something like that. Says, bro, you were called flat earth asshole. I was a big fan. When you went quiet, I thought you were cloned 100%. So the channel started as flat earth asshole. And then when the documentaries came out, Behind the Curve and all those shills were basically running the topic into the toilet, I wanted to move on from the topic and talk about other things. And I didn't want to be just flat earth asshole talking about other subjects. I wanted to be taken a little more seriously, but still I wanted to keep the asshole in the name for whatever reason. So I changed it from flat earth asshole to Jake the Asshole, so that I wasn't associated with all of the shills and clowns who were using the debunked AE map and who were in all those hit piece documentaries. And so to separate myself from them, I changed my name to Jake the Asshole, and I started talking about other subjects besides flat earth in every single video. And then I did that for a few years. And then as I started singing for the old folks in the nursing homes, that's when I started to do less and less YouTube. And there was probably a 6-8 month stretch where I didn't really post anything at all. So there was a good stretch there where I didn't really feel like posting anything. I would go sing, and then my day would be done, and I didn't feel like making videos. And so I was actually just enjoying just having a job where I did something positive, had fun, got paid, and then my day was done. And so there was that time where I was like, I don't need to do YouTube, and YouTube's like depressing. I've talked about basically everything there is to talk about. So I was kind of burnt out. And so one thing that the pandemic did, or plandemic, I should say, or scamdemic, I should say, what it did was it reinvigorated me to bring truth and expose the lies of the government and the psychological operations. It basically inspired me to do it more hardcore than ever before. And so in 2020, when my job singing for the old folks vaporized, that's when I made my comeback to YouTube, fired up a live stream for the first time in like 8 months, 6-8 months. And people were like, oh, Jake, good to see you. Welcome back. And it was like, well, I'm back because my job just got vaporized by the boogeyman disease. And then the next thing we were up against was the VAXX deal, where they were trying to round up everyone and get you to take the jab. So basically, I came back and started doing YouTube full time at that point. And I've been doing YouTube full time basically ever since. James Richard with a donation says, off topic, with the Super Bowl being worth billions, if not hundreds of billions, is it any wonder the Super Bowl is rigged? Oh, every game's rigged. Every single game is rigged, and all the players are in on it. I can't state that enough. All the games are rigged. All the players are in on it. They aren't letting, like, the Saints and Texans play a real football game. No, people bet on it, and it's all scripted out. Like, they don't have to have every single little nuance of every play scripted out, but they can basically tell everyone inside their headset, all right, this next play is going to be like a 4-yard run. So don't let them don't run too far and don't lose yards on this next play. They could probably just tell you, all right, this next one's going to be a 10-yard pass. Something like that. They can basically just tell everyone in their headset what's going to happen. So they don't have to like practice every little single thing. And also, like a Harlem Globetrotters game, I think you could even have moments where you can just like kind of pretend to play without having to like practice it all out. Run a few random run plays that get stuff, run a few random incomplete pass plays that don't go anywhere. So not every play has to be like this long drawn out scripted thing where everyone's practiced and on the same page, yada yada. You can just be like, all right, this next play, we're gonna have you throw incomplete pass. So like this next one, the quarterback's gonna purposely be fucking throwing a shitty one out of bounds or a shitty one at a guy's feet. And if by chance it hits a guy's hands, then he knows purposely to not catch it that time. And if somebody screws something up, then they can on the next play just fix it. So if you're going to script the game, it makes sense to have everyone involved, because if you don't have everyone involved, then how are you going to have the guys in the locker room keeping secrets from each other? So rather than have the players keeping secrets from each other, all the players are involved. And if you let even one player not be involved and think the game's real, well, that one guy can screw up a play. So I don't think for a second that there's any players on the field who are playing for real, because one guy, one safety not in on the fix could totally intercept the ball and screw up a game. One lineman not in on the fix could hit a quarterback and injure him and screw up an entire year's script. So everyone has to be in on it, just like the WWE. So in the WWE, there's no wrestlers who are actually out there fighting. So when someone tells me not everyone's in on it, it's only the refs, I say, bullshit, everyone's in on it, because I can see them playing pretend football. And if someone says, no, Jake, only the quarterbacks and only a few players are in on it, I say, bullshit, because I've seen every player at every position basically screw up on purpose in some form or another. So it doesn't make sense that there's one guy out there who's a backup safety or backup tight end who's not in on it and thinks it's real, because then if he gets put into the game and then screws up in the moment, right, then they have to keep it a secret from that one guy. See what I'm saying? So it makes more sense that everyone is in on it, just like the WWE. So I want to make that very clear, because I hear that a lot. Jake, man, I agree with you that it's rigged, but it's the refs. It's not the players. That's fucking retarded. If you think it's just the refs and not the players, then you're fucking retarded. Just as retarded as is any fanboy if you think it's just the refs. So the NFL right now is trying to push this narrative that people think that the NFL's rigged because of the refs, that the refs are so bad. They got Pat McAfee doing damage control, telling people, oh, well, people think it's rigged because the refs are so bad. The NFL has a reffing problem. No, the refs are part of the show, and the players are part of the show. The players are playing pretend football, and the refs are reffing a pretend football game. And they're part of the show. They purposely blow calls, and they purposely make calls that aren't there. They do both. And if they need to put something back on script, like if a quarterback is supposed to throw a pick and then the defender drops it, and they're like, okay, line up and do it again. They can have a penalty or something, and reset something if they need to. They can re-script the play and have guys do something over again at any point. So it makes more sense to have the referees in your pocket and have all the players in your pocket if you're going to script a game. Just like the Harlem Globetrotters is a scripted basketball game. It's a pretend basketball game. The NFL is pretend football, and all the players are in on it. Lachlan Barron with a donation. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. So sometimes people will bring up teams like the Cowboys and they'll say, well, if it's rigged, then how come the Cowboys haven't won in so long? You asking me that doesn't make it not rigged. So asking Jake why the Cowboys haven't won, because you think that would make more money and that would be the best thing for the NFL, that doesn't make it not rigged. So I get this a lot. Well, explain why the Bills didn't win the Super Bowl, or explain why this team didn't win or hasn't won. Because the NFL didn't feel like doing that. Doesn't mean it's not fake. So asking me a question that you think is clever doesn't make it not fake. So fanboys hit me with the Dallas Cowboy thing quite a bit. And they go as far as to say if it was rigged, then the Cowboys would win every year, or almost every year. And so therefore it can't be rigged because the Cowboys don't win every year. And that's just horseshit logic. Literally makes no sense. That's right up there with I see a round thing in the sky, so I have to live on a round thing. It's just retarded. So I've heard that so many times. If it was rigged, then XYZ team would have won. Or how come since the Bills didn't win the Super Bowl, then that's how you know that it's not rigged. James Richards says billions of gambling money to be grabbed. They all increase their income, so of course they're all in on it. Yeah, there's no reason to leave it to chance, because then if football was real, you would be able to pick the winner a lot easier. So here's the deal. Real football, like high school games, good teams kick the shit out of bad teams. Good teams beat the snot out of bad teams badly, and it's predictable. So if a team in high school football is 5-0 and they're playing a team who's 0-5, it's a foregone conclusion that the 5-0 team is going to kick the shit out of the 0-5 team. In those type of games in high school, you'll see like 48-0, 55-0, 60-0. So when a good high school team plays a bad high school team, they kick the shit out of them every time. In the NFL, a team who's 0-5 can get their first win against a team who's 5-0. And people will be like, any given Sunday, well, these guys are pros. Anything can happen. So you can have a team look like dog shit for 5 weeks and then beat the best team who looked great for 5 weeks. And people will be like, well, the NFL is crazy like that. So real football is predictable. And so if they left it up to actual chance and let the guys play real football, we would be able to figure out within a few games who's the best and who's not, who's good and who sucks. And we would be able to bet accordingly, and we would win all the time. We would rarely lose. Anybody who watches the games, if it was real, could see who's better and know who's going to win. You would know who's going to kick the shit out of who. Making a spread would be difficult. It would be so hard to make a correct spread if the games were real. Vegas would get their ass kicked routinely. So Vegas sports books, in these online sports books, they're not around to let regular plumbers and construction workers make $100,000 a year on football. That's predictable. So what they have to do is they have to script these games to where teams barely win but don't cover. So a team who's 5-0 barely scrapes by a team who's 0-5. They don't cover. They win, but they don't cover. Oh, and they have these spreads that make you think that that's easy to cover, but they miss by half a point. Ooh, just barely. So they have cases where they can break your whole entire, parlay. So you think, oh, this undefeated team will never lose to this shitty team. Oh, well, that's the week that the undefeated team gets their first loss. So your parlay just got fucked. There was that one game that you thought for sure would never be a loss. See, if it was real football, that one game that you know for sure isn't going to lose wouldn't lose, because good teams kick the shit out of bad teams. Rose Bell says, what do you think about Tyree? PSYOP. I was going to make a video about it, and then I just didn't. It was just like another total psychological operation. So basically, they ran with the white guys, killing black guys, white officers, mistreating black people, pulling them over for no reason and killing them for no reason. They ran that one so many times that now they needed to run like a group of black guys doing it to really throw us for a loop. That's what I feel like it was. Like this time they had to go the opposite way, which is funny because now I can make a joke. Now I can make a racist joke about it, a reverse racist joke like this. So as a white man, I don't know about you, but I'm scared of these damn black cops. Whenever a white man's driving around, I'm always worried that some black cop's going to pull me over and beat me up with his big black baton. His big old black baton. I'm worried that a group of black cops, I'm always like looking over my shoulder, worrying about those black cops. They're always looking to pull Whitey over, beat you with their big, luscious, gorgeous black batons. Oh, excuse me. I got sidetracked for a minute. So as a white man, yes, I'm very petrified that the black cops are out to get me. I don't know about you. So whenever I'm driving around in my white neighborhood, my rich white neighborhood, I'm always looking out for those disgruntled black cops who are going to try and take it to me. Rock E. Shepard says, what do you think of all the Transformer investigation channels? I do investigations once in a while myself. So I've pulled up several creatures that I've been like, okay, that's definitely a dude pretending to be a chick. So we've done that on my channel and I've gotten away with it. I've never actually gotten a video taken down because of it. But I have heard channels getting taken down if that's like one of the only things they do. So if the only thing that your channel does is like call dudes women and women dudes, then you might get a person who looks into it. If enough of the videos get flagged or reported, you might get someone look into it who like takes down the channel. But I have gotten away with it and done it several times. So for instance, we've looked at pictures of like Charlotte Flair, the pro wrestler, and I told my audience that's definitely a dude. So I showed probably, I don't know, 5, 6 different women pro wrestlers who are totally dudes. And we sat here and joked and made fun of them. I've heard this before too. So I've heard that Trump is a woman. The fact that you don't see him able to have any facial hair, like you never seen Trump with a mustache or a beard. And then there's that picture of him like playing tennis from a long time ago where he's got like women's hips, women's physique. Misanthropic says, I think all celebs are dudes, male and female. Yeah, here's the deal. Are there dudes pretending to be chicks? Yes. Are there chicks pretending to be dudes? Yes, but not every single case. So I don't think every single football and basketball player is a woman. I just don't. I think that's going too far. So when people say every single celeb is an invert, no exceptions, every single one. I think that's too broad of a brush. So instead I say there are definitely women pretending to be men and men pretending to be women, but not every single celebrity in Hollywood is doing the invert thing. So there are celebrities who might be playing multiple roles, right? So what if there's a celebrity who plays a part of a dude and plays a part of a woman? Well, he's got to be one or the other. See? So if somebody, let's say, who's a talented actor, plays the part of a woman and a man, well, they have to be one or the other. See? So if you say every single celebrity is inverted, well, then I can say, well, what about, what's the guy's name? Kevin Kline, who plays the part of Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates. So Kevin Kline is Melinda Gates, in my opinion. In fact, I might as well just pull up a picture of that up. James Richard says that's chicken poop as well. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I did a video about this a while back. So I'll either, if I can't find the picture, then I'll pull it up in my video. All right, I found it. So here's a person playing multiple roles right here. So I believe this is Kevin Kline playing the part of Bill Gates' wife. And I believe Bill Gates is an imposter actor. So the original Bill Gates is gone, and they have an imposter actor playing the part of Bill Gates. And the original Melinda Gates is gone, and they have Kevin Kline playing the part of Melinda Gates. Right? Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Do you see? In fact, let me go ahead and drag one of these pictures off and blow it up. Okay. Bear with me, guys. All right. This one's kind of a shitty image. Let me pull up a better one. There we go. This one's better. Okay. So you can see the resemblance. Once you see it, it's kind of hard to unsee it. So you could easily have somebody like Kevin Kline play the part of Melinda Gates, and I believe that that's who was playing the part. And then once I exposed it, and a lot of people started sharing this information, they split them two up. So just as I exposed to everybody that these two people are one and the same, they split the couple up. So now you don't really hear much from Melinda anymore. But if she ever does pop up, you can pretty much bet your ass that this is the dude playing the part. So I've heard people say that Robin Williams was playing the part of Melinda, but to me, Kevin Kline was the ringer. All right, looks like I missed a few super chats too. So in this case, like I said, if you say everyone in Hollywood is an invert, well, is Kevin Kline a woman or is he a man? Is he playing the part of a man or is he playing the part of a woman? Seems like you could play the part of both, but still be an actual man, right? So when you're playing the part of Kevin Kline, you're not a woman. When you play the part of Melinda Gates, you're pretending to be a woman. So that's why I don't like saying everyone in Hollywood is an invert, because you have examples like what I just show you here. Doesn't quite fit that narrative. David Yount says, never got a notice he was going live. What I miss? Oh, we went over the Chinese spy balloon. You missed basically everything. You're going to want to have to go back and rewatch. So I went over the Chinese spy balloon for the first bunch, and then we went over how it could be cover up for the fake international fake station or a satellite balloon, a satellite attached to a balloon, a satelloon. So it could be some damage control for the public seeing a satellite balloon or the international fake station, and so they're calling it a Chinese spy balloon. So I went over all that for like a good hour and a half, so you'll want to go back and rewatch that. And then after that, we trailed off into this transvestigation shit. So yeah, the original Bill Gates has been replaced by an imposter, and Melinda Gates has been replaced. So whatever happened to the original Gates, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But the people playing the part of them now are not the originals. Waiting to Die says, I love you, Jake. Oh, I love you guys too, man. Thanks for being here, everybody. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up and let you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night. I've been on here for, almost 3 hours. Time flies. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I had a good time tonight. I covered a lot of different subjects, even ones I wasn't planning on covering. So I'm going to go back and watch the replay. I'm going to read everyone's comment who I missed. So if I didn't read your comment out loud, or if I missed anything, I'm going to go back and read every single one. And I will catch you guys probably tomorrow. I'm going to make a video exposing Pat McAfee again. So expect another Pat McAfee video either tomorrow or Sunday. I got Pat McAfee nailed to the wall. The dude forgets that he already admitted that the NFL was rigged. He said it was rigged, and then he went back on his word and says it's not rigged. So I'm going to basically get the clip of him saying it's rigged and then hit the clip of him saying it's not rigged. And then I'm going to just make him look like an absolute idiot and show that he's a liar and a shill. So expect me to drop that video tomorrow or Sunday. All right. Until next time, guys, thank you for being here. This is Jake the Asshole signing out. Have a lovely rest of your night and a lovely weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.